Good morning. Garden tour for July, and I'm starting with my pots as usual. And my ornamental peppers are ripening, and they are very delicious, hot or spicy. I usually eat them with my avocados. These are some sort of peppers. I'm not sure what it is, but I don't think they are edible. I have my strawberries here, my ever-bearing strawberries, and you can see they're coming up and they're growing down. So I initially thought that it was just for um, spring because it wasn't bearing, and then I read the label ever bearing. My onions, I will not plant onions in pots again because they're not doing so well. um, it's been since April and I haven't harvested one onion as yet. My banana peppers are doing really well in this pot. um, Now I don't put pesticides or um, heavy fertilizing. So I did after my last video, and I realized my stuff wasn't growing as well. Even though I had like goat manure, I had added nitrogen to the soil. It wasn't like bearing the amount that it should have for the time of the year. So I added some plant food, and it did help it a little bit. I did it once, and it did help it a bit. So my banana peppers are doing well. And this green pepper didn't do so well. I'm not sure why, but this tree did well in the pot. And next time I'll stake my sweet pepper or my bell pepper up, even if it's in a pot. So my potatoes are I actually harvested some potatoes. It wasn't a whole lot because of the depth of the bag, so I bought growing bags for my next batch of potatoes. I harvested some and I replanted these that had small potatoes on the end of it. My chickens sometimes come in here and try to bathe. That's why it's looking like this. Just flowers for pollination, and then uh, oregano. I'm waiting for it to seed so that I could put it directly in the ground. So this oregano is something that I'll put directly in the ground. I'm not going to plant it in a pot anymore. I'll definitely plant it in directly in the ground so that it could spread. So my parsley here, I didn't know parsley was not, couldn't manage heat, so they're seeding right now, and I'll plant it um, in fall. So one other thing I learned from growing with in pots is I will not plant zucchini again in a pot because zucchinis I only got like 5 or 6 zucchinis, and they they died out and they got a lot of blight. You see, those are squash bugs. They eat the plants and turn them like this. Um, this is a bad bug, so I initially thought this was a good bug. She makes these eggs, I believe. And next time I'm planting squash, zucchini and squash, I'm putting it directly into the ground so they can flourish. So all my plants really, I have one here. I had 6, 7 in all, 5 squash, 5 zucchini, and 1 squash, and they all didn't do well. So today I'm gonna actually root them up because they're not producing anything, they're just stealing the nutrients from the soil at this point in time. Um, Salting it up. So I have a pepper here, a hot pepper. I have a hot, uh, um, a chili pepper here. I recently bought this, and I bought it with flowers on it. So let's see how that goes. And I'm planning to buy a greenhouse in fall. So I'll have a fall garden and winter garden. So these are scorpion hot peppers. They was the blue hottest pepper until they were overthrown by another pepper. And you can see there is a leaf bug that is eating some leaves here. I think it moved on, but it got this part of the plant here. And I'm leaving these to get a little bigger and then harvest them. But this one pepper would be like sufficient to make hot sauce, a bottle of 12-ounce hot sauce, because it's very hot. My kale did very well. Like, I've been harvesting kale throughout the spring and summer, and I recently picked off all the leaves. Um, and I recently picked off all the leaves, and now it's just growing back. And I planted a banana pepper there, and I have some marigold to ward off pests. So my cucumbers, they did well. It was the first time I planted a cucumber, and this one is actually ready to pick. So let me just pick that. Oh, sometimes I may need my 2 hands for this. Oh boy. Let's try wringing it off without damaging the plant. Oh boy. Oh, there we go. So this is a little overgrown, but we can still eat it. So cucumber. So I bought this U-Pose from Home Depot, and I bought these dollar strings, and then I had these strings in the yard and connect them. I initially had 6 plants, but the chickens dug up 2 or 3, so I have 3. So every week I get about 2 or 3 cucumbers, and I don't use any pesticides on my plants. So you see, like, the bugs have eaten some of the leaves, and I did pick out some of the leaves, so that's why I picked out some of the leaves there. I'll plant cucumber like this again for sure. I have another one here. This one, I don't know, it didn't, this cucumber here, it didn't produce, it didn't grow because it wasn't pollinated properly. But it's ready to pick. But the others came out just like this. My butter squash here, it's good. I think it's about ready to pick. This one I got 2 from one plant. I got 2 from one plant, and you see the bugs are really old. They're like, and I'm gonna just kill this with my hands. Squash it. Sorry. Oh, you're just killing my plants. Squash it. Sorry for disturbing you. Squash it. They're eating my plants. Oh. Right, so my butter squash here. And I think this is about ready to pick. I might give it another few days. And let's go inside the garden. So my mom planted radishes, or they both. They have nothing under it. But I'm going to plant more radish in the fall. It's too warm right now to plant it, so closer to the time. I got 2 jalapenos recently, and they're doing pretty well. I cut one of the suckers and planted this tomato tree, my cherry tomato tree. I left my tomato tree like to just grow and live. um, and you can see how big the bush got. I am getting a lot of cherry tomatoes, and I usually come out and pick and eat the ripe ones and then take it inside, some of them. And then I have two beef steaks tomato, so I'm leaving those two plants, so one here and then the other is there. Here I have a pepper tree that has, it's spreading but never produced anything. I have one, two, three, four cayenne pepper trees here, never produced anything. um, well, not never, I got like two or three cayenne peppers. Not very fruitful this season. Right, so my other tree is here, and I usually just put branches like twigs to just support the tree, but I just leave the tree to grow as is. And they're producing. I usually pick it before it starts to ripe, but I'm leaving this as an experiment on the tree. And that's a really big tomato. Oh, yeah, it's a really big one. And then I have another big one there. And on the outside of the fence, there's many more you can see there. And I'm just leaving it to grow. Um, what else do I have here? I have okra. So I start off with one. I believe this one here, and now I have a few. One, two, three, four, five okra plants. And you see my cucumber here as well, running on the fence. Um, I think this okra is ready to pick. Yeah, this is ready to pick. I should have a knife or cutter. Right, another okra there. And my cinnamon basil, and then my regular mint, and then my chocolate basil died. But those are perennials. I believe it would come back. Yeah, they would come back. If I put them inside, they would do well. And I have a basil here already for run fall. And after doing research, I realized that basil don't grow summer. So that would be one of my fall plants, and then I'll put covering over it. And I have beans here on the fence growing with the tomatoes. It's called same. Um, it's similar to just regular beans. And let me show you one last thing, my cabbage patch. So I planted sweet potato here. Those 9 plants. Was it 9? Yeah, hopefully they'll grow well. I have some cantaloupe here, not doing so well. And then my cabbage patch, oh, a natural disaster. Literally, the bugs. I'll definitely grow cabbage indoors next time. It's just, the bugs literally just took everything. Took everything. There is, I believe it's pumpkin. And then I have a Swiss chard here. I actually got some leaves from that, but I'm leaving it for cool weather and I'll cover it. And then lastly, my potato patch here. It's okay. I tried it's been more than 60 days, and Georgia clay soil, it's not so well for potatoes. So it's growing slowly, but hopefully shortly. I hope you enjoyed my garden tour for July. I'll insert some pictures of what I was able to collect. I collected a lot of tomatoes, so I didn't take pictures every day that I came out. But we haven't bought tomatoes in a long while because we're getting it from our garden.